So you've probably seen the announcements that you can now make slide decks in both Gemini.google.com as well as NotebookLM. The two ways in which they generate the slide decks both produce amazing results, but it does so in two very different ways. And so it's probably helpful to understand the outputs and some of the considerations depending upon what you want to do with the slides after they've been generated. So I'm going to walk you through exactly what it looks like in both of the tools, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what the pros and cons are. So here we are in Gemini.google.com, and I'm already in the context window, and I've just said, can you generate a slide deck using images of Eagle County, Colorado for a new employee orientation on what new employees will find in our Eagle County handbook? And then I've uploaded a PDF copy of our handbook. So the most important thing is I'm going to go down to Tools, and I'm going to click on Canvas. So that will invoke the part of Gemini that actually generates the slides. It'll take, 5 minutes or so to actually generate the slides. All right, and so after a few minutes of running, it generated a slide deck. So you can see that it used some images as background, our foundation, our values, respectful and inclusive workspace. Yeah, I mean, this is basic, but that's Veil. But that's all the information from our actual handbook. So really good start. I don't know that I'm crazy about all of the images, but that's okay, because if you generate it in Canvas, you can actually edit it. So if you're curious, the last slide in the slide decks that are created in Canvas will also contain a list of the image sources, just so you know where they actually came from. But you can click Export to Slides. And the great thing is you can consider the Canvas thing basically as a draft. So it will take the slide deck and it will export it into a format that you can edit directly in Google Slides. Yeah, okay, so you can see that if you open up the Google Slides in Google Slides, that it's super easy to come in and edit, and it works just like any other slide deck. And so the route by which you produce a slide presentation using Gemini and Canvas is a really great route if you're looking at a first draft, one that you're going to edit over time, and kind of more familiar in your traditional setup. So if you're going to do it in Notebook, here's how you achieve that. So I'm just in a working notebook here. I'll go ahead and add a source by selecting the same handbook PDF. And while it goes ahead and indexes that, the place that you generate slide decks in NotebookLM is actually over here in the studio on the side, on the right side of the screen. So in this case, I'm going to choose slide deck, and I'm going to use the pencil to actually write some custom instructions. In this one too, I'm going to generate a detailed deck. You can also do presenter slides where the AI comes up with the narrative that you might use on your presentation. But here, I'm going to do a detailed deck, and I'm just going to use the exact same prompt that I used in Canvas. So I'll generate that. And then at the same time, let's say I also wanted a handout for the attendees. So I'm going to use the infographic. So in this case, I will say we've had better experience when we've used the detailed beta with it actually spelling words correctly on the screen. As the technology grows, it's getting better and better at generating text on images, but it's not always perfect yet. We've had better experience with this using the detailed ones, and I'm going to use the exact same one, except I'm going to change this to an infographic to use as a handout for the presentation. With images of Eagle County. Yep, there we go. So I'm going to click generate there, and that's going to run for a few minutes. All right, so it's completed. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the presentation. And yeah, it kind of interpreted our logo a little bit differently. But I think it looks good. I have to admit, the NotebookLM, I think, does an incredible job at generating maybe more of a final draft. The only downside to it is, though, you can't really edit it from here. So you can download it as a PDF, You can show the prompt and you can copy that and go back and forth, but basically that's how you have to edit, is that if you want something specific, let's say you want a specific outline or you want specific text, you're going to have to use a combination of the sources with the outline and using quotations around specific text you want included. Maybe you generate that as a note and then save it as a source. And then in your custom instructions, refer to that as being a basis on which you want to create the slide presentation. But yeah, after the fact, after it's been generated, you can't export it to slides and edit it, which in most cases is not a huge issue because it really does do very well out of the job. It's just right out of the box, but it may take some rework or a couple of times to get what you want. So if I close that out, we'll also take a look at the infograph. So the infograph, I mean, this just blows me away, how well it actually does, and assigning the logos and kind of getting concepts across really easily. And it looks like it did pretty good on the actual spelling. Like I said, the detailed one seems to handle that better. Yeah, I think it looks great. That's a good handout that we could have for a presentation. So I hope that helps in understanding the two routes and what you can and can't do. Like I said, in recap, Canvas, first draft, export to slides. You can edit it from there. Notebook, closer to a final product, maybe a little bit more back and forth, but I think you'll agree that the graphics and the ability to do the infographics and stuff like that is just really compelling in Notebook. So yeah, I hope that helps. All right, later.